Hello Gemini, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there is something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a 10 of Wands starts us off. I feel like you've got a lot of weight on your shoulders. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. Maybe this is coming from work. Maybe this is family, friends. Maybe this is your own creative pressures. I feel like you've kind of been exhausting yourself. You know, you've really been putting in a lot of effort somewhere. And I almost feel like you feel obligated to do, like it feels like a work thing. It feels like a boss that just keeps giving you more and more and more to do, right? So there's a little bit of a feeling of being overwhelmed, perhaps. We're going to put this into some context. And we've got a Hermit. We've got a 9 of the reason you're being given so much because they know you can handle it, okay? But that doesn't take away from the fact that we really don't want it. And that, you know, if we're pushed too far, if there's too much pressure, we're going to end up imploding, right? And that's kind of what we've got with the Hermit. We're going to end up kind of withdrawing inside of ourselves and not doing any of it, right? We've got an Ace of Cups up there. Look at that. That is nice. And we've got the Strength or Lust card, as it's called, this Leo energy. Very nice energy, especially when we're up here, we're looking for that refreshment. We want that Ace of Cups. We want that love and that passion. And I feel like this is the way forward. You know, I feel like right now we're being overworked, we're being overrun, we're being overwhelmed. But in a sense, it kind of feels like we're being underwhelmed, right? Let's keep going. We have a 5 of Wands now. And we have a Queen of Wands. I feel like we're making some changes here. We've got the Star and we've got the, yeah, it feels like it's underwhelming, right? This is a lot of effort, a lot of work, but very little reward. This is like, again, you're being kind of, you know, someone's piling on all this work for you to do. Every time you start making progress, somebody comes with a big stack of papers and slams it down on your desk and say, no, you're not done yet. And you can handle it. You're more than capable of doing all of this work, but it's not doing anything for you. You don't care about it, right? And I'm not being flippant. It's not, I don't care about this work. It doesn't speak to your soul. It doesn't offer you any kind of satisfaction, right? And so I think we're kind of being underwhelmed with the work that we're doing or with some aspect of this life, right? And so it could be a career thing, could be a job, it could be something at home, it could be in your love relationships, it could be in your creative work. You know, maybe you're an artist and maybe you just keep doing keep getting more and more commissions, let's say, for more and more art. You're doing so much art, you know, but it's not the kind of art that you want to do, right? I see that changing, and I think that things are going to get kind of unbelievably great for you with the passion of this Leo energy, this Lust Strength card. This is real magical power. This is now creating the kind of art that you want to create, right? Because I think you're following your bliss. You're following this Ace of Cups, the heart. You're following your heart, your true self, your true will, your true love. Right? Rather than what we see here is kind of just a lot of fire and earth, right? In this very kind of, it's kind of like this is our boss, the Hierophant back here, right? That's our boss just piling on more and more and more till we're almost at the point where we want to withdraw from this and begin this kind of life that's full of passion and love and beauty and harmony. Maybe you're really considering a job change or a career change or a change in what your days are committed to, right? Maybe you're retired, but you're involved in something. Whether you're retired or not, you're involved in something, okay? This is that kind of organization, and we can say this is our boss at work. But this is whatever you do. Maybe it's a church thing. Maybe it's a community organization, a charity. Maybe this is just your family, your friends, or whatever. Whatever it is, this is like kind of the boss, you know. It could be part of ourselves too. We keep giving ourselves more and more of this. I think, what did my grandma always call it? Busy work, right? It's just busy work. There's no depth of meaning. There's no soul to it. You're looking for soul, Gemini. You're looking for soul. Let's select the mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And maybe this one. This one kind of was sticking out. And we're going to put Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, okay? But it will, it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during the program you feel like you know what that card is, or you have a hunch, I want you to put something down in the comments. A guess, right? A prediction, just the first thing off the top of your head. Okay? If we exercise our intuition, it will get stronger, right? It's a muscle. Let's look around the room here. We do have a lot of majors. Major, 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 major. This seems like a transition. If we follow just the major arcana cards, I wish I was better at video editing, because I'd somehow remove all of the other cards, and I'm not one of those channels that's really big on the special effects, you know, or the cool camera tricks or anything. This is just kind of straightforward tarot reading here. But if we can imagine for a second that all these other cards are gone, and it's just the major arcana energies, right? The Hierophant, the Hermit, and then kind of this emergence of this passion and this star following our death. And really it feels like a transition, right? We have this very rigid and fixed Hierophant energy, this boss, this kind of mundane routine, whatever it might be. This is that part of us. I'm not blaming it on anybody else, though. Let's get that clear. We're not saying, oh, it's my boss, or oh, it's my job. Well, that's just what we are doing, right? No one's doing it to us, right? We're here in this environment where we keep getting whatever the weight is, whatever this responsibility is that keeps piling up. We're doing it, right? Not to say that there aren't, petty tyrants of bosses out there, which there are, and maybe yours is one. I don't know them. But the idea here is that we are. It's kind of a caterpillar to a butterfly kind of thing, right? It's a transition from fixed in what we're doing as this routine that we are not satisfied with, that we are exhausting ourselves with, right? This routine. We're going away from this Hierophant energy, withdrawing into ourselves, and a transformation takes place. The transformation of these cards here and this card here, and all of them really, the fire and the water. And we emerge as this creative, spiritualized being, now following our destiny. This is following the routine. This is following what is fixed or what has been prescribed to us. This is us following our bliss, following our love, following our heart, our true will, our true self, our passion, our creativity. This is, whoops, I just knocked over. I found the bell, by the way. We just moved into a new studio here, and I've been having fun going through all my boxes trying to find all my toys, And just now I found, if you watched the Taurus reading from today, I didn't have the bell, but I have the bell now. Unfortunately, we don't have the Lover's card, so we're not going to ring the bell yet. It's really, this is kind of this is an age-old trope or story, or even a kind of cultural myth, right, of the person who is really wearing themselves down in a certain kind of life, right? A certain way of doing things, whether it's, we see something like, what is a good example is Joe versus the Volcano. Have you seen that movie? Tom Hanks, great movie. Someone is just fixed in this routine, fixed in this life, fixed in this habit. And there's no effort to get out of that. It's just, this is what we do day in, day out, right? But then by the end of the movie, now no spoiler alerts, but by the end of the movie, he's a little bit more lust and star than he is hermit and hierophant, okay? And it really is this kind of, this transformative movie storyline, the trope, this kind of cultural myth, transforming into this energy that is really, that has a lust for life, that has found their passion, found their bliss. And I think it really is kind of the discovery of your true will, the discovery of your true self, and the communion that takes place with that discovery, right? And that's what the heart energy is up here. That's you discovering what it is you really want and who you really are. And this transformative process now we are, you see down here, it's kind of everything is going down to the ground, right? The Hierophant is kind of looking down, the hands are pointed down. Everything kind of brings your eyes downward. And the Hermit too, hands going down. We see the dog and everything, Cerberus on the ground, and the gaze is downward. But here, gaze is upward here. And in both of these cards, something is being pulled down from the sky, from the unknown, from the spiritual plane, from the divine dimension here. Both of these cards, okay? The discovery of your true will really brings so much magic and joy and passion and love into your life. Because we realize what this is that we want. And in the lust card, we're pulling down this from our own efforts. We're bringing into our life what we have, what we've discovered is our kind of our true love, right? The Ace of Cups. And the same thing with the Star. But the Star is more of kind of spirit pouring it on us, rather than us going out and striving for it and getting it. The other side of that is us being open and receptive to what Spirit is sending our way. Okay, but in both cases, we've got this idea of something coming from above, whether it's being kind of delivered to us or whether we're reaching up and grabbing it, like this Lust or Strength card. Reaching up and grabbing life, reaching up and grabbing love, grabbing your true will, your bliss, right? Your satisfaction and your true love energy. Okay, and this I think is a big transition rather than everything being focused on the ground or everything looking downward. So to me, it's a transformative process, yes, but we don't want to discount the need for this kind of thing too. We have to all have a mundane life. We have to all, and by mundane, I don't mean one that's boring. I just mean an earthly life, a terrestrial existence, because that allows us the basis, the foundation to reach up and grab our divine energy, right? To reach up and touch the spiritual plane or the divine dimension. Yeah. And so we're kind of, we're transitioning into the butterfly here, but then we're also still in this form. We can do both. But what I think this really is talking about is you moving into a type of energy where you are fulfilling your desire for that true love. Now, what is the Ace of Cups? Well, it could be a romantic relationship kind of thing. It could be your artistic, creative energy. It could be your spiritual life, your spiritual experience, your connection with the divine. It could be all of these things. Because this is an ace. This is the source. This is the well that nourishes the whole village. Yeah. This is the source of all of it. Yeah. So this water energy is extending to every aspect of your life. Your work life, your home life, your creative life, your friends, all of this stuff. Your spiritual and religious life is centered. Your entire life is centered around this well. Okay? And this is what really is filling up the Eight of Cups. We see the Eight of Cups. It looks like everything's kind of leaking from these cups and the water is flowing away and the cups are emptying. Well, what the Ace of Cups will do is refill these cups. So we feel kind of underwhelmed. We feel kind of understimulated by life. But that's all changing. Okay, we're finding that which is going to, it's turning the frown upside down in a way. We're filling up these cups. We're going to have a much more joyous, a much more blissful, creative, passionate experience with life. Yeah, there'll still be ups and downs, of course. But we we're being filled with hope again, in a way. Yeah. Because what we have in this reading, we have our major arcana, which we talked about. We've got, other than that, we've got water, fire, fire. We got a lot of fire, a lot of water, right? And I think the water and the fire is, again, kind of talks about the duality of things, reaching out and striving for what we want, but then also yielding, being flexible, and receiving. If we're always talking, then we're not listening, right? If we're always striving, then we're never yielding. Okay, then we're never receiving. Yeah, we're never accepting. So we need both. I think that's why the fire and the water is there. The fire and the water is also saying that, no longer are we just going to be quietly accepting the way things are and not taking the initiative. We're not just going to be passive passengers of life, right? Because we have this fire energy now, we're taking life by the horns. We're reaching up and pulling down what we want. We're finding our star and we're reaching up into the night sky and we're plucking it out of the sky like it's a jewel. Yeah. Rather than just accepting, well, this is my fate, this is life, and I can't do anything about it. So I think the transition is happening. I think that this is really a flowing energy. Now we do have the 9 of Wands, which is underneath the surface. This is your strength. And this has always been with you. And the reason why life is giving you more and more responsibilities is because you can handle it, because you have this connection with your divine energy. And that's what gives you strength. It's always and there's duality in that card too. The sun and the moon, conscious mind and unconscious mind, or even flip it around and it's our human consciousness and our divine consciousness. But either way, it's that connection. Maybe it's all three, right? Maybe this card does a little dance and connects the 3 levels of being. But it's through this connection with spirit that we are able to endure what we endure in life. It gives us the will to go on. It gives us the will to triumph. It gives us the will to exceed and to excel and to strive for greater and greater things, deeper and deeper meaning of things. Yeah. And so you've always had this connection. I think you've always been someone who's very strong. You've always been able to handle a lot. Okay. And the more you can handle, well, the more they're going to give you. It's, again, kind of going back to the kind of workplace stuff. If your boss knows that you can handle a lot of work, they're going to give you a lot of work. And then they're going to give you a little bit more to see if you can handle that. Oh, you can. I'll give you a little bit more next time, right? And so then there's a kind of this underachiever kind of syndrome, which, sometimes we act less capable than we are, just so life doesn't give us too much to do. If your boss doesn't think you're all that capable, well, then I'm just going to leave them alone because they can't handle that much stress. But you can handle a lot, so I'm going to give you a lot, right? And I think that's because you do have this connection with the divine. It's just a matter now of activating it, focusing on it, allowing this energy to come in, and I think making a bit of a change here. Going over to the path of the serpent, we have more fire energy. And this one is the Queen of Wands, right? And that really blends together the water and the fire. This is how you activate this. By, what we said before about the duality, right? How there's a striving and there's a yielding. There's a firmness and there's a flexibility. And this person, this is a representative of you. You have mastered that, and you need to understand how to implement that into your life. And also this idea too with the water of the kind of the passive energy, and then this very active this energy with the water here. It's kind of not accepting anything as being our fate, right? Not assuming that our destiny, our fate is fixed and there's nothing I can do about it. If we find ourselves here in this underwhelming existence, there's nothing we can do about it. Well, this Queen of Wands would beg to differ. Okay? The Queen of Wands would beg to differ, ready to go out and tackle life, ready to go and experience new challenges, and to to overcome new obstacles, right? To break down any walls that might be preventing them from getting to that true will, that true love, from reaching down and plucking that jewel out of the sky, you know. And with the Five of Wands, your general energy, I think you understand how this process works. It's kind of, this card is the accelerator on the car. Yeah, this is the gas pedal. And we got to know how to use it. We got to know when to push. We've got to know when to just coast. You've got to know when the time is right to just crank it all the way up to 10 and boil the water, right? Boiling the water, I think, is really the name of the game here. You have to understand what is that, well, what's the boiling point, right? What is the moment for you where you just say, enough is enough, I'm making some changes in my life right now, whether at work, at home, at school, whatever. I'm going to start doing things that lead me closer to my bliss, closer to my true love, my true self, my true will. Okay? And not that you haven't been doing that before, but I don't think we've reached that boiling point, right? And I had a job in my 20s where the owner of it was a small shipping company, yeah, packing, shipping, kind of odds and ends of things, you know. It was like a UPS store before there were UPS stores, and the owner, the boss, he said, you know, the secret is to treat people like rubber bands. Yeah, he said this to me. And he said that you stretch them as far as you can to see when they would break, right? And then when they broke, okay, then you know you can only stretch them that far. And this goes back to what I was saying before, how, you know, if you're capable of handling a lot, then you're going to get a lot. And then you're going to get a little bit more to see if we can keep pushing it further and further. Keep stretching the rubber band. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And that's kind of the, I think, where we're at, where it's just, and I don't know if this is happening at work or if this is just kind of a tension in your life where it's just like something's got to give. Something needs to change. And I think it is kind of reaching that boiling point where it's just the frustration is so great, the tension is so great that we need that big spiritual change. Yeah. We need that big spiritual shift in consciousness. And I think it's coming. And I think it's going to be glorious. I think it is going to be starlight. It's going to give you a guiding light in the darkness. Yeah, that star card right here, beautiful card. Spirit is illuminating what's going on within you. And Spirit is also illuminating the path before you. And I really love the star card. It's got to be one of my favorite cards in the Thoth Tarot because it is the spiritual light or the spiritual waters, whatever you want to say, coming down on us, illuminating us. But then it's also being poured out onto the ground. It's illuminating the path before us. It's kind of like Spirit is shining a light inside of you, but also shining a light on the path before you for you to walk. So this is really an enlightenment with starlight, right? With this kind of blissful energy. And I think really the emotional component is very important for you. Because if it doesn't feel right, then it just doesn't feel right. Okay? So you're very much aware of how things make you feel. And this is that divine energy that really makes you feel like spiritual. It makes you feel like just in love with life, you know? And that's reflected in the lust or strength card too. This is just that kind of passion, that creative energy, whatever is your particular flavor of energy. It's a very, you feel it deeply, right? We don't have any swords cards here, which is interesting. We don't have the kind of discursive thought. We don't have the debate. We don't have the questions and the doubting. It's just a feeling, right? It's a feeling of fire. It's a feeling of water. And it's kind of, we've got to mingle the two until we get that boiling point. Right, until we're ready to just transform everything. And I think it's going to really create kind of a new level for you. So we're going to look at the mystery card. And I'm expecting something of a major transition, a major change. It could be, well, it could be a tower. That might be a little bit too disruptive, though, but it could be. It could be the Tower. It could be the Moon. We could have a Wheel of Fortune, I think would be kind of the best of both worlds here. It could also be the Death card. Those are kind of my predictions. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. All right. Let's see what we got, Gemini. Oh, we've got a Knight of Pentacles. So this is interesting. Brings up, well, this is fire and earth, right? This is some kind of the Capricorn style energy. And this brings up a really good point that we don't want to lose the foresight. You know, we let things get to a boiling point, and then what happens? The water starts boiling over, gets on the stove, you burn your things, it's bad news, right? Maybe we don't want to reach the boiling point. Maybe this card is saying, yeah, we can have the boiling point, sure, but let's plan ahead. Let's look into the future. What kind of life do you want? What do you see yourself doing or being in 5 days, 5 months, 5 years from now? This is the card that looks out into the future, right? So it's kind of like we've got to know where we want to end up if we want to figure out how to get there. Okay. So we can let things reach this kind of crescendo, this boiling point, but let's look at it as part of a larger. Let's not just let our emotions, get the best of us, and then we just kind of have this blow up at work or something. No, let's figure out where we want to be, who we want to be, and what we want to be doing, so that we understand what kind of boiling point needs to happen, right? What its purpose is, what it's leading to. Everything has to be intentional, Everything has to be leading us closer to our goal, our spiritual goal. And I think this is a very good reminder of that. This is extraordinary energy for you. We're going to do an extended reading. And if you want to stick around for that, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Gemini Mondays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. All right. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.